Alright, you guys, it's time for part 3 of this daily, number 600, or as I like to call it, 600. Because there's nothing cooler than, instead of having like ST for first and ND for second, using RD for all of them. So it's third, second, third, forward, third, nerd. You know, like this. It's all good. Severed. If it's 600, this is 600 daily. At this point in time, we're seeing Flash identify Ermagerd roaches. Now, there's some things that we call necessarily mutually exclusive. He cannot both have speed and a lot of roaches, and 3 bases, and have his layer tech done. You know, the rules, that statement's bent a little bit by the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually got 3 hatches before pool, so we got like so much economy. Ermagerd. I can't type it very well. However, I can do that. I can cube things. God, I feel cool. So, 1-1 is coming out, but the fact of the matter is that when you see this many roaches with this sort of setup, our opponent just can't really be going for tech. So, Marauders are great to go for. So this is one thing that I thought was very clever out of Flash in this moment. I mean, he sees this, and he tries to do as much damage as he can. This mine actually gets a very nice hit off. Loads right on up, tries to deal as much pain as he can. I think he picks off that roach before he goes, nope. Then does something sweet. Watch this. Okay, we got the combat shield coming up. Alright. Just lifts and goes straight for a tech lab. This is something that I literally would have never ever done in my entire life. I would have been like, oh, what do I do? However, first of all, medevacs do very aggressive things. Drip dropping everywhere. No way for Spire to be there. He can't both have a lot of roaches and 3 bases and a fast Spire. It's just not possiblement. Sure, he's pulling his opponent every which way. Then just follows straight up with Tenku. There's the Marauders getting produced 2 at a time. There's the Medevacs getting produced 2 at a time. Command Center at 10 minutes, just as we had before. So cool. So cool. So we're going to be zipping through the remainder of this game. It's actually not going to take a very long time to do it.
Research complete.
De-emphasizing these engineering bay upgrades. We already have +1. And look at how much of our gas is being devoted to dealing with this right now problem, right? Getting Marauders takes gas, Tech Lab takes gas, Combat Shield takes gas, Medevacs, tanks, another Tech Lab. We have 3 Tech Labs and 3 reactors at this point. So not a really fast 2-2 by any means, but still continued harassment. Also think this is very smart. I mean, there's literally no chance of a Spire. And God, that pleases me to such amazing lengths. Just dropping to kill off a couple lengths. Dropping to kill off a freaking Spore Crawler. And then just loading on up and pulling on out. So when we get those additional barracks underway, I mean, Flash just lifts back and... Or he's going to just move one of these barracks up here to this tech lab. Which is really cute. Viking, also another unusual exploit, but hey, if we see roaches, you can't have Mutalisks, so I can go around and get a lot of free Overlord kills. And in fact, in the Units Lost tab, we see it's quite high for Flash. Yu-Gi-Oh's been losing a lot. Flash has lost hardly anything. So that just does some good old smart stuff. So, 2 upgrades coming up, getting this vehicle weapons upgrade. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get a whole bunch of siege tanks. Very uncommon to see someone continuing to build roaches and then suddenly do a big tech switch, so it's fine for us to be investing into this old antique vintage tank tech and all that good stuff. But here Flash is doing it. And very fortunately, just finds this 4th base. Does kind of a simple drop to this side while this damage is being dealt. It looks kind of scary, but, you know, It's going to be scary if you're up against a player who is as good as Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would say more significantly went for 3 hatch before pool. But Flash holds it off still pretty easily, about as easily as you can hold it while losing your front. Because back home he's actually killed off a number of workers, he's done some reasonable damage, and the rest of this game's actually pretty simple from there on out. Not a really complex build. Nothing really shocking, but upon barely staying alive, sends in another medevac to pick off this expansion. Which he does so fairly easily. Gas is coming up. Everything in production is as to be expected. Marine Marauder drops kill things pretty quickly. Viking in the front. Little additions that make me love Flash. Just spotting the front a little bit with that Viking. Not a ton, just a little bit. And the 3-3 upgrades to follow shortly. Alright, cool. Flash stims on accident. There's really no other way. There's no need to stim and rush to the bunkers. Flash gets, you know, some more barracks. You know how it is. He's gonna get another factory. He's gonna keep dropping these top sides just to try to lock his opponent into 3 bases. Strictly. And then he pushes. And that's all she wrote. So a very acute opening, a non-3 command center opening. It's upon seeing it goes, oh my gosh, let me get tanks, let me begin getting marauders a lot earlier. Let me just strongly sway my tech to deal with this. Tanks all sieged way far away from the edge of creep. Units dart up to pick off all that stuff. So right now Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have pretty much no creep tumor vision in that center area. And as he pushes, he does these little drops. The 4th base. It looks so simple when you look at it from Flash's point of view, but it's so pretty. I will say I have deep respect for his patience. Most players just don't have this patience. And this is the reason that players don't have patience. Or this is the reason that players should have patience, because if they don't, they can get overrun by things like that. Yeah. And this is it. This is the end of the game. I swear to you this. Go, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? I agree with Manbon up in chat that Micro was sick, and in fact, damn it, it's my birthday soon. I might as well be able to rewind and show off that control. Alright, let's see it. What? Oh, yeah. Ooh! Alright, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get from his camera on his selection, and then I'm gonna change it to selected, so we can more easily see this. So this is actually where he's looking, I think. Alright, so let's see. So he stims it all. Sieges the tanks. Takes this back group. Sends them down. Ooh. Ooh, let me just... One more time. This is the best part about adjustable health bars. We can actually see exactly what he selects. This is actually where he's looking. That's actually sick. Wait, do you realize how... Like, this is where he is looking, and he's microing back with this view.
Research complete.
Wait, that's not possible. Wait, that's literally not possible. Players don't scroll this smoothly. Wait, there's got to be some sort of interpolation going on. Damn it, I wish it wasn't interpolating. Damn it! Whatever, let's take questions. That was an amazing daily. That is like as good as a daily will ever be. I'd probably say out of 10 dailies, I really like 2. I'm fine with 4 or 5, and I'm really tilted about the other ones. I'm really happy about this one. God, that was such a lerped interpolation. It was so lerped. So interpt. Woo! If you have a question, type in Dear Day 9, and I will see it over here in the question grabber. Gamera asks me, why do I hate Zergs? Well, because I used to be Zerg, and it's very classic as one develops in adolescent life and as an adult to trash and burn everything that you used to be. Looks like the question grabber might not be functioning today. All right. Let's go ahead and take him direct. XParrot136 says, Day 9, why did Flash scout in the second game and not the first? You said in the first game he would not have changed his build even if he scouted, but the builds in each game were slightly different. Well, yeah, so in game number 1, it was, okay, I'm just going to go for this Hellbat drop, and that's just what I'm going to do. There's no real need to scout anything earlier because it's not going to cause me to get my Hellbats any faster or any slower, you know. Still getting... I mean, we still have to get the bunker up quickly, so it's not like we can get our gas earlier. And since we can't get our gas earlier, it won't increase the time that we can build our starport and our armory. So no, there was really no reason to scout game 1, so we're still happy with that. But game 2 is a little different. Flash is trying to build his barracks as unbelievably quickly as possible. It's a mineral choice. So what mineral thing can he delay in order to get those up earlier? The bunker. So since he's going to try to delay the bunker as much as possible, he wants to scout early. If he scouts aggression, no problem. He'll build the bunker early, and it's fine that he delayed his 2 barracks because his opponent is being aggressive. His opponent has a bad economy. He doesn't need to get up these barracks as early. But if his opponent is not being aggressive, then Flash wants to get his attack up earlier. So that's why he's getting it. That's why he's getting his barracks earlier. Let's see here. JMO Bro says, Day 9, how well would this last push work with Hellbats instead of tanks? I actually kind of feel like Flash would have been dead already. If you're opening up Hellion and then going into like Marine Medevac drop, your Hellbat count is going to be really low if you then try to work into Hellbats. So when that huge attack winds up coming, it's just not going to pan out very well. I mean, one of the reasons why you can do... okay, so I'm going to start at the mid-game and I'm going to work backwards. In those mid-game pushes in Game 1, we had a lot of Hellbats and Marauders and Marines. Why does this work? Because we know that he's not getting up layer tech because of our earlier attacks. And in the now, because I have a lot of Hellbats and Marauders and Marines, I'm going to be crushing a lot of Roach-based forces. So then we back up a little bit from there and say, okay, well, what happened before then? Well, I was doing a lot of Hellbat drops. So that way I would have Hellbats for the mid-game, and also so I can see what he's doing to make sure that I should be making this many Marauders. And before that, it's just making sure that we're staying alive. So if we're starting going like Marines and Hellions and then Medevacs, we don't have any Marauders, we don't have any Hellbats. So I actually think that to answer the question, how would Hellbats have done in the last push? I think we'd be dead before the last push if we tried to go Hellbats after doing that opening. Doomhammer says, Day 9, what if you can't deal enough damage with drops, especially Hellbats? 2 answers. For one, you're going to be able to deal damage with the Hellbat drops. They're so good! And I'm not even joking! You have the speed medevacs. Don't speed in there too early. Wait till you're pretty close and then begin speeding. So that way you kind of Phew, and you can like dart in and drop, and if he tries to run, you can lift up, and you still have more emergency thrusters to be able to blow things up. And for 2, we saw Flash move in there, see what was up, and pull out. There's nothing wrong with retreating. Why? Because if we're retreating, then that implies he had a whole bunch of units there that would have killed off our drop. Well, if he has a whole bunch of units there, then he is not building drones for his economy. So, we have effectively already damaged his economy with these drops. We've forced him not to build drones, we've forced him to build these units. In that circumstance, what you'll do is fly in and fly out and fly in and fly out and not really drop that much. You'll just recollect with your big army. Instead of 8 Hellbats, you'll have 14 and a bunch of Marauders, and you'll just roll through his front. Crane Song says, Day 9 in the second game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Went Corruptors instead of Mutas. Why do you feel that was? Did he predict Vikings or something like that? You know, I would say that it was because he was going... Actually, if I can just load up the game here. Yeah, I can actually pull back to... the game. Actually, I'm going to pull back to 10 minutes. So at the 10-minute mark, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been the recipient of some nice harassment. At the 12-minute mark, his lair has only been done for a little while. As we'd see, we have Roaches and Banelings. So in this position, most of Yu-Gi-Oh's mana is going to be dumped into Banelings and upgrades and Roaches. There we see some gas getting burned, so therefore by the 14-minute mark, as he's about to get in, we see the gas is there, but it's not, you know, astronomical. It's kind of hard to, like, suddenly surprise mutas in a spot like this. We've been spending a lot of our minerals to try to, like, stay alive. We're pretty certain an attack like this is going to work, but it doesn't work, so... As we go ahead and move on to the 16-minute mark, this is when Yu-Gi-Oh's like, oh man, I gotta get my lair up. So that way I can begin going for things like Broodlords, which are awesome. So there it is. He's going for the Broodlords. Why Broodlords? Because we already have two upgrades on our Zerglings. And it works a lot better with that. So here it is, when the push comes in. They're corruptors that were made for the pure purpose of getting up Broodlords. In fact, he's feeling like, I'm so close to getting up Broodlords. Then all of a sudden this push comes and it's like, ah! Mutalisk would have done diddly squat here. I mean, we would have just died. I mean, Flash is already maximum. Yu-Gi-Oh's at 150. Yuck. Yuckaroo! Radon Monoxide says, Day 9, how do you figure out timings of barracks and macro buildings? I need a bill to tell me when. Honestly, I just think you should watch a lot of games and be aware of timings and just start writing stuff down. I mean, honestly, this is what I do. I just watch so much StarCraft, and that's how I get all these numbers pounded into my head. I'm not like being super studious most of the time. Like if I'm sitting down to watch the GSL, I just do simple things like, oh, he's going for factory. And when's that factory? Okay, it's 7 minutes. When's that thing going out? It's 8:30. And then what happens is, if you do this enough, you'll just start to hear the same times popping up again and again and again and again and again and again. And I'll even do more extended stuff like that, like, okay, well, his factory's done. Wow, he's building a starport instantly after his factory's done. Wow, he waited 2 minutes to build that starport. Huh, that's unusual. And again, by just saying all these timing things, wow, it's 3 minutes in between doing this and doing this. Well, expansions normally happen at around, you know, the 10-minute mark in PvZ. Like, these are sorts of things that, just by stating them a lot, you'll start to see a lot more patterns and be a lot more aware. Alright, that's it. Go watch StarCraft, go have some fun. I'll be doing some more WCS Korea analysis tomorrow. WCS Europe Premier League also happening tomorrow in the morning, so watch that. Thursday, because it's my birthday, I'm just going to tell stories, nothing StarCraft related. And of course, this weekend, please tune into the MLG Spring Championships, where I'll be casting. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I had a blast. 600 episodes done. Here's to another 600.